Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Global Outlook is sponsored by Maury's monthly newsletter, Global Outlook. The president continues to unload jihadis out of Gitmo as WikiLeaks hacked emails show the puppet master George Soros pulling the strings all over the world, including promoting and financing the Middle East migration takeover. All these things that we already suspected and kind of knew behind the scenes are now coming to pass as being facts as WikiLeaks continues to drip more information out every day. And now we're finding out that we already knew this, but we're finding out factually that George Soros, his Open Borders Society, Media Matters, all of his front groups are basically pulling the strings behind the Secretary of State, the Obama administration, and all over the world.
You know what's so sad about all this? So what? This kind of crookedness today is going on at all levels of government. Nobody's there to stop it. There's nobody there to stop the illegitimate activities of people that are in high political positions.
That's absolutely well said. But it does make you a little bit nervous when you see all the Gitmo detainees being released back into the battlefield. And most of them, they're going to say that hardly any of them, but that's a lie. Most of them end up back fighting against the United States.
You know, when you have a president, Barack Hussein Obama, who won't even admit to the fact that there is such a thing as radical Islam, when 13 people were killed at Fort Hood, Texas, by a guy who yelled Allah Akbar, which is a call to murder by the Muslims. And the guy's still running around. There's nobody doing anything about him.
Now we've got ISIS boiling people alive in hot tar, throwing people off of rooftops, expanded into 38 countries now, and I don't see them slowing down at all. Do you?
My God, it might even make the old SS blush that somebody was even worse than they were.
And they're doing it with pretty much without any opposition by anybody. The Russians will throw up a couple of planes and they'll make it look like they're doing something.
You know, that brings
the Americans blow up an ISIS installation here and there.
I'm overawed by Russia, which should be a basket case. They gave up the satellites. They gave up most of the republics that made up the old Soviet Union. They're down to about 140 million people. They lost 30 million people during the Second War. The oil prices are down, and they are feared more by the world today than the United States is. If you say Russia is on the march somewhere, people get scared. Well, if you say the United States is on the march, nobody cares.
Well, the thing that really has me a little concerned is the Russian-China alliance that we're seeing formed. Now that is very formidable.
I don't see it. I don't think that. I agree with you on another matter, and that is the fact that Russia has become the most powerful country in the Middle East. Russia is telling Iran what to do. As we speak, within the last 24, 48 hours, there have been air raids from an Iranian air base by Russian planes bombing ISIS locations.
Helping Assad.
Remember, the Russians had a big problem with the Islamists in their Chechnya. And, you know, when Putin came in there, he killed about 100,000 of them and took care of them, and they've been kind of quiet ever since. They've had a few outbursts, but the Russians know
They sent them over here to the Boston Marathon.
Well, they did that, but also the true story, when we lost 244 Marines killed by Hezbollah in Lebanon. This goes back to the Reagan years. And Reagan just pulled out, didn't do anything about it. It's one of the things I hold against him.
Now we've got Putin and Erdogan getting cozy with each other.
Yes. Very good point that you're making here. Here's where this is developing now. You've got Turkey is now trying to act like a first-class power. Of the old fight that the Ottoman Empire and the Tsars had there, they were, for hundreds of years they were fighting each other, killing each other. Now Erdogan says, okay, so we accidentally shot down the Russian plane, and he asked forgiveness from Putin, and Putin gave it to him as long as they were willing to cooperate. So now you got Erdogan, the Turkish Sunni. You've got Iran, which is the power-hungry world. They think they're going to become a world leader.
Iraq,
Well,
Syria.
they have Iraq. I mean, Iran is now in control. That's right, and so but you got Russia is looking over the whole thing. So you got a totally new alignment. You know, it's interesting. You and I talked on the phone a few weeks ago when Erdogan decided to reestablish relationship with Israel, which is kind of interesting. Why would he do that?
Before the coup.
Yeah, exactly. That was about 2 weeks before the coup. So the thing is, you've got a new alignment going on in the Middle East that has pushed the United States out of the picture. And you know who's going to become the first major victim? Saudi Arabia. They're going to, and this time there will be no American troops there. Hillary has said if she wins, if she becomes president, there won't be one more American soldier outside the United States.
Yeah, but that's what Obama said too.
But I'll tell you,
Obama said the same thing. We weren't going to be in any war. He started more wars than Bush did.
Well, that's not true. I mean,
Look at Egypt. Look at Libya.
wars got started not because we didn't do anything about it. We were going to make democracies out of these countries.
Oh, that's worked out well.
Well, yeah. I mean, you remember that June 9th speech where he said, now the Arab countries are going to become democratized and the people are going to vote in the people that they want. So,
yeah, which would mean the Muslim Brotherhood.
But the point is, by America actively stating that we are absenting ourselves from the rest of the world as far as sending troops anywhere, anytime, that means they're opening the door to all kind of the fear of America getting involved kept a lot of people in line. That is now gone. Nobody fears the United States anymore.
Only if Hillary Rodham Clinton gets in. Because if it works the other way, I think you're going to see a much stronger stance in the world if you see Trump in there.
Well, if, as is unlikely at this stage of the game, Trump becomes president of the United States, you're absolutely right. I think he'll definitely be a much more martial president than...
You've been paying attention to this for a long time. So have I. You've been paying attention longer than I have. Have you ever seen more resistance to one candidate in your life than what Trump is up against?
You've answered your own question. Of course. Not only that, though, the media, even the Wall Street Journal, I can't believe some of the filth that is being thrown at Trump today. Part of it, unfortunately, is because he doesn't know when to keep his mouth shut and not give aid and comfort to his enemies.
But you also know if he was a Democrat, none of this would be coming out.
Yeah, but he's not a Democrat. He's a guy that they're afraid. You know what they're afraid of? They're afraid if this guy becomes...
He's a wild card.
I can tell you exactly. He's going to run this country like a leader, not the kind of leader most people want to see. He's going to say, if it's the right thing to do, I'm going to send troops in. If it's the wrong thing to do, I'm not going to send troops in. And sue me if you don't like it.
Iron fist. We need to take a brief time out. Our Homeland Security, Political Insider, and the Moment in History are coming up.